The Galactic Council had seen many strange things in its 1,000-year history, but nothing quite prepared them for the sight of Ambassador Sarah Chen walking into the Grand Chamber with a Cravathi Deathstalker at her side. The creature moved with liquid grace, its 6 legs carrying its armored bulk across the crystalline floor. Twin rows of razor teeth lined its elongated jaw, and its 4 eyes, each capable of seeing in different spectrums, scanned the assembled delegates with predatory focus. The Cravathi stood nearly as tall as the human woman beside it, its segmented tail curled upward, the venomous barb at its tip capable of killing most known species within seconds. Councillor Vexthar of the Melodian Confederacy rose from his seat, his translucent wings trembling. Ambassador Chen, this is unprecedented. The Cravathi are apex predators. They cannot be tamed, trained, or reasoned with. Every species that has encountered them has either fled or been consumed. Sarah smiled, running her hand along the creature's armored flank. The Deathstalker made a low rumbling sound that the translation matrices struggled to interpret. This is Razor, he's my companion, and he's here to help explain why humanity should be granted full membership in the Council. The chamber erupted in clicking, whistling, and electromagnetic protests. Councillor Thren of the Collective spoke through his hive mind interface, his voice a chorus of concerned tones. 2 cycles ago, we discovered a Cravathi nest world in the Gamma sector. The Federation deployed 3 battle fleets to contain the threat. We lost 4,000 ships before establishing a quarantine zone. And you bring one here? To our sanctum? With respect, Counselor, you didn't lose those ships to the Cravathi, Sarah replied calmly. You lost them because you approached with weapons charged and shields up. You saw predators and assumed monsters. Razor clicked his mandibles and settled into a sitting position, his tail lowering to a relaxed curve. The gesture seemed almost domesticated. Impossible, breathed Councillor Yara, the Sivothian representative. Her scales shifted through colors of disbelief. The Cravathi killed my grandfather during the border wars. They show no mercy, no hesitation. They are death incarnate. Sarah nodded slowly. They are predators. Efficient ones. But humans understand predators, Councillor Yara. We lived alongside them for millennia on our homeworld. Wolves that became dogs, cats that chose to coexist with us, raptors that learned to hunt with us. We never saw predators as enemies to be destroyed. We saw potential partners. She gestured to Razor, who rose and moved to the center of the chamber. The delegates flinched backward, defensive shields flickering to life around several seats. When we discovered the Cravathi nest world, we didn't arrive with warships. We sent researchers, anthropologists, and animal behaviorists. What we found wasn't a mindless killing machine. We found a species with complex social structures, sophisticated communication, and yes, emotional bonds. Sarah produced a holographic display. Images flickered to life showing humans and Cravathi working side by side. In one scene, a young human child rode on the back of a smaller Deathstalker. In another, Cravathi and humans hunted together on an alien world, bringing down massive prey through coordinated effort. The Cravathi don't kill for sport or hatred, Sarah continued. They kill to survive, to protect their territory, to defend their pack. When approached with respect rather than fear, with curiosity rather than weapons, they respond differently. Razor moved to a console at Sarah's gesture, his clawed appendages manipulating the controls with surprising delicacy. A mathematical proof appeared on the display. A solution to one of the Council's long-standing scientific problems regarding faster-than-light navigation through gravitational anomalies. The chamber fell silent. The Cravathi are intelligent, Sarah explained. Not in the way you measure intelligence, perhaps, but they understand complex concepts. Razor here has been studying your sciences, your languages, your cultures. He wanted to come today, to show you what's possible when species look past their fears. Councillor Vexthar's wings had stopped trembling. How did humanity accomplish this? Sarah's smile widened. Because we've been the predator before, Counselor. Humans weren't always at the top of our food chain. We remember what it was like to be hunted, and we also remember what it was like to hunt. We understand the language of predators because we speak it ourselves. She walked to Razor, standing beside the massive creature without any visible fear. Every species in this council rose to dominance through cooperation, through hive minds, through collective consciousness, or through pure intellectual advancement. But humanity, We clawed our way up through persistence, adaptation, and the willingness to befriend those who could have been our enemies. Razor's mandibles clicked in what human researchers had learned to recognize as contentment. He lowered his head and Sarah scratched behind his auditory organs. "You thought you were showing mercy by quarantining the Cravathi," Sarah said, her voice taking on a harder edge. "You were really imprisoning a species because you couldn't understand them. Because they frightened you. But fear is not wisdom, and isolation is not justice." Counselor Thren's hive-mind voices harmonized in consideration. "What exactly are you proposing, Ambassador?" "Full membership for humanity with one condition. Let us broker peace with the Cravathi. Let us show other species what we've learned. There are dozens of worlds in quarantine zones, species labeled as too dangerous or unredeemable. Give us the chance to prove that the galaxy is wide enough for predators and prey to coexist." The council chambers filled with deliberative sounds. Finally, Counselor Yara spoke, her scales settling into a pattern of cautious acceptance. "You would vouch for these creatures? Stake humanity's reputation on their behavior?" Sarah looked at Razor, who met her gaze with 4 eyes that held unmistakable intelligence and trust. "I already do, Counselor." Every day, the vote was called. When it concluded, humanity had its seat on the Galactic Council. And beside the human ambassador, a Cravathi Deathstalker stood guard, not as a weapon, but as proof that the most dangerous predators in the galaxy had learned something the Council had forgotten. That mercy isn't about keeping threats at a distance, but about extending a hand even when it might be bitten. As they left the chamber, Razor's tail swished contentedly. In his own way, he understood that today had changed everything. The predator and the human walked side by side, partners in a galaxy that was only beginning to understand what that partnership meant.